Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday to you. It's Tuesday, October 22nd, 2019. Good morning to y'all. Already got a bunch of folks over there in the chat this morning. I see Mark Lindsay's up and kicking this morning. Troy Pritchard in the house. How you doing, Troy? David Roby, good morning to you. Kevin Els. Some of you guys starting to become a little bit of a regular here. Good to see you. Let's see, we got Brian Mooney in the house. How you doing this morning? My buddy Ryan Ballard up there. How you doing, Ryan? More coffee, yeah, buddy. Mr. All Things YouTube, aka the Piano Man, Matt Haas. Ron Coffee joining us this morning on the Facebooks. How you doing, Ron? Good to see y'all here. Kind of a slow morning around here today. Got the Rocky Cam going, and again, not a whole lot of action. Jack's going to probably be laying there the whole show because he's just got through chasing the ball a couple of times, and that pretty much wears him out for a little while. So, and I think Rocky, let's see. Oh, there he goes. Yeah, Rocky's not even in here. He's probably already on the sofa taking up, getting his spot warm. So, oh man, it's a dog's life, I guess. But good morning, Terry Dobbs. How are you this morning? Klondike, good morning to you. Yeah, it's oh, he had to go get his Chewy. That's what it is. Yeah. Okay. Well, he's gonna settle in now. Terry, Terry said he wants Rocky's job. Yeah, it's a good gig if you can get it. I'm telling you, he's got a good, pretty good life here at the old homestead here. Actually, both of them do. They're pretty spoiled, as you can tell. Anyway, tell me what's on your mind this morning, folks. I watched a little bit of the news this morning until I got disgusted and turned it off again. Pretty much same old stuff every morning. So depressing sometimes trying to watch the news. Never any good stories. Very seldom anyway. So where do you folks get your news? Do you watch? You get your news from TV or radio or social media, or what's? Where do y'all get your news? See, we got Dave Matthews in the house. Mr. Unsweta is up this morning. How you doing, Javi? Good puppies, yeah, they're good puppies. Don't know what I'd do without them. Dave Clemens in the house on the second cup. Yep, me too. I just got my second one. Where's a good place to get some NEMA 23 spacers like you have on your Gatton? Well, I have them on my website. If you go to my brand spanking new website, you'll see them. News from the coffee session. Is that where you get your news? Well, I'm going to have to tighten up, try to do better then. Although you can probably get as good a news here as you can anywhere else. At least it won't be fake news. Yeah, the World Series starts today. Is everybody excited about that? Does anybody really care? I don't follow, especially professional sports. I don't follow much at all anymore. It's just not the same. A lot of things have pretty much ruined professional sports for me, taking all the fun and out of it. So yeah, Matt knows what's going on. He says go Nationals. Yeah, the in case you don't know, the Washington Nationals will be playing Game 1 at the Houston Astros. I guess it's tonight. I think they're pretty much all night games. You know, they got to go for that prime time stuff. I remember back in the good old days when they used to play some of the stuff during the day, and if it was during the week when we were in school, sometimes if you had a really cool teacher, they would let you watch a little. You know, they'd bring the little. You know how they had that great big old tall stand with the TV on top, and they would bring it in and let you watch maybe a little of the ball game or something. Those were the days. Yeah, it's all about the dollars now, and that's why I'm not much on the professional sports because money has ruined a lot of things like that. So I don't. Well, here's something interesting. Look here. Mark says I get to take another spinning wheel apart and fix a few things and send a couple of parts off I don't have the tools to make. Well, cool. Very cool. I'm the fan club vice president of the AA affiliate of the Washington Nationals, the Harrisburg Senators. Yeah, I've seen you post Facebook photos and stuff when you're at the ballpark. I tell you, I still love baseball. I'm not a fan of, like I said, the pro stuff. But one of the best things you can ever watch on TV is the Little League World Series. And that usually happens like from late July to maybe late August or something like that. But that is some of the best baseball you'll ever see. And they're out there playing because they like to play the game, not for the big bucks and stuff. So Steve Gronsky says, play ball. Let's have a good series. No mess. So just play well. Okay. Yeah. Still like going to games, but I don't watch TV. Yeah. I don't think I've ever been. Let me think. I've been to, back in the day, we used to go to, see if I can remember what it was called. And I don't even know if it's still the same. Maybe somebody from the Indiana area can let me know. But they used to call them the Indianapolis Indians, and they were a farm team for, I want to say the Cincinnati Reds, but I'm not positive. But they had a Victory Field is what their little ballpark was called. And I remember going to some games there. But I don't think I've ever been to, well, no, I take that back. I have been to see the Braves play way back when Dale Murphy was still playing, and even tried to go to the games to see Hank Aaron hit the home run that beat Babe Ruth's record. And the game we went to, he didn't hit it. So I think it was like the game after that or something that he hit that. So, but yeah, so I have been to a professional baseball. I've never been to a professional football game. To me, that's just silly when you get the best seat in the house is, at home, because you get to see the replays and all that. Have somebody behind you spilling beer on you and stuff like that. Yeah, Javi says, I used to love going to baseball games until the hot dogs got to $12 each at the stadium. Yeah. Same with stock car racing. I like to go to the track, but I don't watch on TV. I've been to lots of NASCAR races back when NASCAR really meant something. I've been to, of course, I live right down the road from Atlanta Motor Speedway. So I've been there many, many times. That back in the older days, they used to have a spring race and a fall race. And I used to go to both of those. I've been to Talladega several times. Um, and even though I'm not a fan of NASCAR these days because of the stupid rules and the, stage one racing, all that different stuff they do now that's not real racing to me. I still tell people that if you've never been to a NASCAR race, you should probably go at least one time, because TV just doesn't do it justice. I know they do that little, segment where they go, hey, let's crank it up. And they crank it up and they show the little camera that's mounted down in the corner and the cars zoom by and stuff like that. And you go, yeah, that's cool. But there's nothing like being there, hearing the roar of those engines and seeing them go. The TV just doesn't do them justice. They look way faster when you're watching them in person. So, let's see here. What's Hobby saying? I remember going to see the Miami Orioles. It was a minor league team at the old stadium, which is now townhouses. Yeah. Drag racing is great. Yeah. I've been to the, again, this is way back when I lived in Indiana. I went to the U.S. Nationals one time, and that's another thing that I had never been to. And a friend of mine says, hey, let's go, And I'm like, yeah, okay. I wasn't that excited about it, but I went. And again, that's another one of those things where if you have never been, you need to go at least once, because those cars are, and this is way back then, and they weren't even going that fast when I think about it. But those funny cars and the top fuel dragsters and stuff, man, they're just, the whole ground shakes when they crank those things up. And just go down that quarter mile in like a blink of an eye. It's amazing. But yeah, I went to the U.S. Nationals and had such a great time. We went like on it's over like the Labor Day weekend at, well, I don't know what they call it now. All these parks have changed names as speedways, but it used to be called Indianapolis Raceway Park, but I don't know what they call it now. Yeah, I went there on like I don't know, Friday or something. I enjoyed it so much that I bought tickets and went back for Monday for the finals, which was Labor Day, or maybe it was a Sunday. I don't remember, but anyway, whatever day the finals was. But Frankie said he's been to the Indy 500 several times. See, that's something that's weird, because I grew up probably 30 minutes from the track, and I've never been to a race. I've always watched them on TV. Back in the day, we used to listen to them on the radio when I was a kid. And I have been to the track to, see inside there and stuff, but there was nothing going on. But I've never been to one of the races. And again, I can't help but think that it's better to watch it on TV, because that place is so huge. It's 2.5 miles around, and you can't even, if you're sitting, even if you got great seats and sitting right at the finish line, you're not going to be able to see what's going on the other side. So, Earl says he went to the Cleveland Browns and Tennessee Titans first game of the year, and I didn't get a chance to see the Titans much living here in Cleveland. Yeah. Obviously, this first time I was at a race, I was amazed and astounded and shocked. I didn't realize how tiny the cars were in real life. Yeah. I'll never forget the first time I went to, I guess the first time I saw a NASCAR race was at Atlanta Motor Speedway. And I had tickets back then, again, the NASCAR's lost such an audience that they've taken seats down. But back then, on the backstretch, which is straight, they used to have a whole row of bleachers. So I got tickets on the backstretch, but I was down near turn two. And I remember the first time I saw a car come through there, I'm thinking, there's no way he's not going to hit the wall. There's just no way. He's so fast. But no, those things stick. And I was just blown away. And I've been going, or went to several after that. And Atlanta's still a good track to go to if you got to pick one to go see. That's a good one. Klondike says, was given the opportunity to watch the Daytona 596 from the Goodyear Tower just before pit row. What a blast. Yeah. I've had a ball at Talladega too. Talladega is a good place to go. Because, everybody's sitting around holding their breath, waiting for the big one to happen. And it usually does. But, yeah, it's pretty cool. I don't like them so much anymore, though. But it's not the fault of the drivers or the cars or even the other fans. It's the stupid money driving the whole thing and the way they're changing it. And it's not even racing anymore the way they do it, in my opinion. That's my humble opinion. But yeah, dirt track racing, that's a whole nother critter for sure. Definitely is. Yep. Well, let's see. What else was I going to talk about today? We've talked about sports. We've talked about. Oh, I got a question for y'all. Let's see here. Ryan Ballard's got something. Says, my wife got me into NASCAR when we first met. Now I watch it, and she hasn't since Tony Stewart retired. Well, your wife's got excellent taste, because that was my driver, Tony Stewart. Yeah. In fact, my house key, I can show you here. It's all worn off now, but my house key, I don't know if you can see that, is an old number 20. Of course, yeah, all the stuff's wore off of it, but I got that back when he started driving the 20. Bristol was in the best NASCAR races that I went to. Went Poconos, Michigan, Charlotte, and Atlanta. Yeah, Bristol used to be. Must be some excitement going on right there, although I don't see any. Bristol used to be the hot ticket because you had to, it was sold out every year, and you had to wait for somebody to die to get a ticket. And now it's like all the other tracks. There's, lots of empty seats. The camera guys, they always try to make it look, do the camera angles where you only see the seats that are got people sitting in them. But it's gotten so bad, it's hard for them to do that now. So Ryan Ballard says, I'm a freelance fan. I like about 4 drivers. Yeah, I don't really have a driver that I like now. Well, the boys are getting a little rambunctious here. I don't know what's going on out there. Probably a kitty cat trying to get in the yard or something. Yeah, a lot of them. What is fun, though, is, and I may have mentioned this before, back around, right around 1999 or so, my son Clint was young, and we started racing quarter midgets. It's kind of like a little, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like a little, it's not a go-kart because it's got a body and a roll cage and the wheels are offset and all that. And they run around a little oval. And we got into the quarter midget racing, and we went to some of the big events like the Eastern Nationals and stuff like that. We never won or anything because, one thing, I didn't have any money back then. And racing is a money pit, so we didn't have the funds to be competitive like a lot of the other folks. But anyway, we had fun, which was the main thing. But what's funny is we used to go to these events, and there would be people like Reed Sorensen, Joey Logano, which everybody knows Joey Logano now. Heck, he's a NASCAR champion. But I can remember him when he was just a little kid, and he'd go race and then get out of his car and go play in the dirt and stuff with the other kids. Justin Allgaier. I'm trying to think of some more. There's just a bunch of names that, some of them were really serious about it and stuck with it, and now they're doing well. Like I said, Joey Logano's the main one. Every time I see him on TV getting interviewed, I still think of him as that little skinny kid that I used to see at some of the races we went to. But anyway, the other question I had for y'all is, do you guys know your neighbors? Do you know the name of your neighbors? Back in the day, everybody, you would know your neighbors, you'd know their names, you'd know their kids' names, you'd know probably where they worked. It's just so different now. I live here at the end of a cul-de-sac, and when I first moved here, the house right behind me here, where I'm pointing this way, it was empty. There wasn't anybody in it, and there was a lady with a couple of kids across on the other side of the cul-de-sac, and then there's an older lady kind of at the end of the cul-de-sac. And Norma is my neighbor here, and we talk every once in a while. We see each other going to the mailbox or something like that, or if I'm going to go out of town, I'll call her and say, "Hey, Norma, I'm going to be gone. Keep an eye on the house," and stuff like that. So I've known her for ever since I've lived here, which is going on 13 years now. But the lady with the two kids that lived in the house across, they moved out, and I think that house is I don't think, I know it's a rental house, and there's been several people in and out of there over the years. But even the ones that are there now, they've been there probably 2 or 3 years, and I couldn't even tell you what their name is. Same thing with the house behind me. Right after, about a year after I moved here, a fella bought that house, and I talked to him, not often, didn't see him much, but I would talk to him, knew his name and stuff. But then he moved. Well, for a while, he decided to go do something else, and he kept the house and rented it. And it's like every time I would try to approach my neighbors, like back when I had my chickens, I had more eggs than I could eat. So I'd always try to take eggs over to give them away, just be a friendly neighbor. And people would just look at you like, "What are you doing, old man? Leave us alone." So, so I quit doing that. I'm like, okay, you don't want to be friendly. We don't have to be friendly. So, but it's just weird. So I'm just wondering, I don't see, let's see, a few folks here. David says, "Know 4 of my neighbors." Clifford says, "Yep, I sure do. I'm not too old, only 34, but was always taught to introduce myself and get to know my neighbors. Now we're all good friends and help each other on the regular. I'm actually helping one neighbor build a new house on his land." Well, good for you. Yeah, see, that's the way it used to be. Let's see, I know some of mine. Glad we have some acreage between us. Yeah, I hear that. Yes, but I put up high fences to not know that. Now on one side, I talk to him now and then. His wife was a problem. She passed last year. Yeah. We're a mixed cul-de-sac. Homeowners and 3 renters. So some of the faces change every so often. Yeah. Yeah, 4 homeowners. Okay. Yeah, I figured you hit the dollar signs, the one right above the 4s. I figured it was 4. A lot of them. Oh, you live in a small community. Wife is president of our fire auxiliary, of our volunteer fire department. Okay, good. I make a point to know my neighbors. Good, good. Next door and across the road, next door is the only one of the houses that you can see from ours. We're a mile down the road, and only the second house on our side of the road. 2 on the other side, too. Brian says, I live outside of town, have 3 houses kind of close, but yes, do know them. That's good. That's good. And the reason I asked that is, like I said, I don't, other than in Norma down here, she's really the only one I know and talk to. And, and we're both kind of reclusive because we're, we live, I got me and my dogs, and she had some dogs and hers all passed away. So it's just her now. And she's like, I want to say 82, but still gets around good and stuff. So I talk to her occasionally. But the rest of them, nah, don't really know them. And Jim Jones in the house, he says, just wave hi, don't really have any interaction. Yeah, that's the way. I will at least wave, and then it makes you mad when they're looking right at you and you wave and they just stare and keep watching you drive by or something. I'm like, come on, man. Is it going to kill you to wave? Try to act like a human being? But I remember growing up, we lived out in the country. But even though we were out in the country and the houses, all down the state road we lived on, we still, I could, go down the thing and go, okay, there's the Durbins and there's the Smiths and the Smoots and the Easleys and, and because you might not see them because they're not walking by your house because they're too far away, but you would see them at church or, in town at the grocery store or something like that. And you knew who they were. You knew their names. You knew their kids' names. You went to school with them or something. So just things are so much different now than what they used to be. Let's see. Mark says, I have one neighbor that whenever I fire up the CNC and he hears it, he has to come over and watch it go round and round. He loves it. 67 years old too. Yeah. Fortunately, I sometimes worry about the noise of the CNC, but mine really, you can't really hear it because the way my house sets on this, like the cul-de-sac's right out there, and then it goes back this way. The road goes up that way. So on this side, I have next to me a Christian school, and there's a football field and a baseball field that butts up to my property. So most of the time, there's nobody out there. So it's really quiet. In my garage, where my CNC is, of course, I also have one in my shop, but the one in my garage is on the far end. So it's the farthest away from any neighbors. So, yeah, Jim Jones reminded me I'm not in New Winchester anymore. I know, Jim. I miss it. I wish I was. Morning, everyone. Just got back from the chiropractor. All right. Well, I hope that went well. This guy right here is not a fan of chiropractors. Did you say? Yes, I said easily. Yeah, Bill Easley used to live down the road from us. I still keep in touch with all my neighbors that have moved out a while back. That's good. It's just weird how isolated we've all become. I mean, here we are. We're on this live stream, and we've got looks like 26 people in here in the chats and different ones, YouTube and Facebook and stuff, and we're all talking, but we're all miles from each other. Just it's just so much different than the way things used to be. But well, I'm glad some of y'all know your neighbors. That's good. I guess I'm not the norm. Maybe still. I don't know. Frankie wants to know, how do they spell it. It was you had to ask me. Started with an E. It's Easley. It's Easley, I think. Yeah. The neighbors closest to the shop shed are gone all day, so I don't worry about noise. They leave at about 7 a.m. and don't get home till about 8. That's a good neighbor to have, I guess. One is not there. Oh, all righty. Well, nobody's letting me know what's on their mind. I've had a lot of things on my mind this morning, but I don't. Mike Sills says, they say garage door openers ruin neighborhoods. Yeah, I can see how there'd be some truth to that, because now people come home, they don't stop and get out, where the neighbor would see them. They just open the door, pull right in like the bat cave, and the door comes down, and they don't have to talk to anybody. Yeah. Ryan Ballard says, so I am debating picking up an 8x10 shed that is local for sale, $500, so I can get my machine out of the basement until I finish the garage. Figure it will take me another year to get it done. 8x10 for $500? Sure. Sounds like a deal to me. Did you know Frank Easley? No, they had, I'm trying to think, there was, Bill was the dad. Not sure I remember what his wife's names were, but he had a daughter named Teresa Easley. And there was she had a brother too, but I can't think of what his first name is right now. Dennis Easley, I think. Yeah. My town is so small, we still gather at the mailbox and chat with the postman. Yeah. I talk to my postman, mail carrier, or whatever you want to call it, occasionally. He's a good guy. In fact, I hate it when he's not doing my route. Every once in a while, we get, I don't know, I guess his day off, or he's on vacation or something, and the other people are, yeah. But this guy's pretty good. I think his name's Gary, but he's a good mailman. All right, let's see. I got another question for you, since y'all aren't. Let's see. Larry says his nearest neighbor is a football field away. Been here 30 years and don't know any of my neighbors personally. Yeah. Yeah, that's the way it is with a lot of folks. My drive is 1,850 feet from the house. To speak to our post lady is a long walk. Yep. I wanted to add a laser, blah, 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 blah. I was wondering what y'all would suggest. Well, you have to ask that on the CNC with Dave show. We're drinking coffee here, folks. Come on. Drinking coffee. He says his postman's name is Elliot. Good old guy, always talking about retiring. And Mark says, same here, Hobby. Our postman has been talking about retiring for 7 years. I hope my postman doesn't retire until after I'm gone, because he's really he's got me spoiled. He's really, really good. Small town here, so we know just about everyone. Yeah. Well, that used to, I'm from a small town. That's the way it used to be. Everybody knew everybody, and if you if you did something and got in trouble, you might as well run home and tell your parents, because they were going to find out from somebody anyway. Let's see. Mark says, holding up a cup doesn't prove it's coffee, Dave. It just proves it might be bourbon. Nah, it's coffee for sure. Michael Chipser in the house. How you doing, Michael? Welcome to the Tuesday morning edition of the Coffee Sessions. Don't see him on here much. He's a busy fella. Got that. Michael's got some good stories about his postman, though, don't you, Michael? Question on the streaming setup. If I have two cameras on the computer, can I use both and swap between them? Want to point one at the screen for Saturday. For the Linux CNC stream that we're doing Saturday. Well, there is a screen sharing function. Let me ask you this, Dave. If what you're wanting to show on the computer, is it on the same computer that you'll be using to join the stream? Because if so, even as a guest, let me pull something up over here so I can. Let's see, what have I got? Well, I'll just leave that up, I guess. Even as a guest, you have the ability to share the screen. And in my case, when I click share screen, it asks me if I want to share screen 1, which is what I'm looking at right in front of me, or I can share screen 2, which is this one. And over here, I've got YouTube open. So if it's on the same, now we get that weird infinity stuff going on. So if what you're wanting to share on the computer is on the same computer that you're going to be doing the stream with, you can use the screen share and won't need two cameras. Because I don't think you can set up a camera when you first come into StreamYard, it asks to set up the camera and the mic, but they really only use one camera for the thing. The way I do the Rocky Cam, which is what you see over here, is if you look right behind me, beside where that guitar neck's sticking up, you'll see a laptop sitting back there. So I've got a laptop running StreamYard just like they're my guest. And then I have so that's the way I have a second camera. Is actually I'm using up two of the spots for the StreamYard. It's just like I have another guest on here. Let's see, Jeff says, times have changed, Dave. Yes, indeed they have, Jeff. Michael's probably not going to share any of his postman stories. He's got the best ones, though, I'm pretty sure. Yeah. Can't you screen share directly? Are you talking to me, or I'm not sure if you're talking to me. Are you talking to me? I don't know what you mean by directly. I can screen share, and I can screen share it. Even if I was just using one monitor, I could screen share. But usually the way I do it, if I'm going to screen share, like yesterday when I shared the video of the space debris and all that, I have that over here on the second monitor. And then however many monitors you have hooked up, you could have 5 of them hooked up. And when you go to screen share, it'll say, well, which one do you want to screen share? And you would select that one and it would share that one. Let's see, not on the same one. I might be able to put a network dongle on it. Okay, so it's a different computer. He says, I'll see if I can put the CNC on the net. Okay. Dave, what spindle are you using on the Gatton? It's a 2.2 kilowatt water-cooled spindle from My Sweetie. I had a request when I was doing, telling folks I was trying to do the website. They said, well, make sure you put those Amazon links. So I've got all my Amazon affiliate links on a page. If you go to, let's see, I'll just do it this way, and that way I can show you this screen share function. So if I screen share now, this is the website. If you come here to where it says watch the Gatton CNC build videos, and then you'll see, it's going to take a minute for those to load because I got a lot going on here now with all these things. It says links to products I use and recommend. You click on that. And here is in fact, the one that I use is this second one over right here, this My Sweetie thing here. It's the whole shebang with the VFD, a bunch of collets, the spindle, a spindle mount, all that. So that's the one I use. Let's see. I was talking to Dave Matthews. He said it's not on the same computer. Yeah, it'd been nice if it was on the same computer, because anybody that comes on as a guest can screen share. I'm listening to the show this morning while getting the last 3 panels up on the building. Well, good. Third cup and a bowl of cereal. Yeah. What's your favorite cereal there, Big Dave? You go down the cereal aisle in the grocery store now, and it's just, the whole freaking aisle is cereal. They make all kinds of stuff. Mark Lindsay said he's getting ready for a second cup. And he said that not to talk about anything important until I get back. Well, we haven't talked about anything important so far, so you should be good. Did they move Ferguson Hardware, or is it still on East Main Street? I don't know who you're talking to. If you're talking to me and you're talking about Danville, I wouldn't know because I haven't lived in Danville for a long time, almost 40 years. So, okay, Mark's back. Where did it go? He says, back, we can proceed now. Watching Rocky and Jack on the big screen as I type. Yeah. I've noticed that ever since I set up the cam, I swear to you guys, when I got the idea to set up the Rocky cam, I thought, well, it'll be kind of cool. But they never set like they do now. It's like ever since I set that camera up, they know it, and they always sat with their rear end to the camera. I don't get it. Granola and Cheerios. Yeah, Cheerios is good. I like Cheerios. The Honey Nut Cheerios. Or the plain ones, either one. Those are good. And I like the, what's the other one that's got the nuts and the raisins in it? I can't think what it is. Those are good. All that stuff's expensive, though. Now you get, or at least I think it's expensive, $5 or $6 for a box of cereal. pretty pricey. All right. Well, I guess Raisin Bran. Yeah, thank you, Javi. That's exactly what it is. Raisin Bran. Good stuff. I like that. Still a Rice Krispies fan and Cocoa Pebbles. Gotta have my Cocoa Pebbles. That's funny right there. I can't remember the last time I had some Cocoa Pebbles. I was probably I don't know 12 or something. I don't know. Uh, but yeah, that's good. Good for you. Get your Cocoa Pebbles. All right, I guess I'm going to get out of here. We've been on here. That my little alarm's going to go off here in a minute. Someone said, I'm not even saying that name anymore. She woke up. Because every time I say mine, even though I'm way in here, she hears me. And turns out that when you're a grown man, you can eat pretty much what you want. Yeah, there are a few a few upsides to getting old, and you just mentioned one of them. You pretty much eat what you want. You can pretty much say what you want too. People don't like it. I don't care. You don't care what people think of you anymore. You realize that, it don't really matter in the big scheme of things. If they like you, fine. If they don't, that's fine too. So yeah, not all, not a whole lot of good things about getting old, but there's a few. Let's see. I have my Alexa right by the TV, so if you say anything that sounds like it, she wakes up, but she's not connected to the internet. Okay, shoot. I was going to try to get her to sing something stupid for you. And you'd have it stuck in your head all day long. I tell you, I'm really enjoying mine, though. And I got to think it was Jim Sinicola that said the other day in one of these coffee sessions, yeah, well, set your Alexa alarm to play music when you wake up. And for some reason, I hadn't even thought of that. So I've been doing that. And it's just so much nicer to wake up to some music starting than that god awful tone or buzzer or whatever it is. And then you have to wake up and go, Alexa, snooze. So, and then you get that 9 minutes to snooze a little bit. All right, guys, I guess we're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for hanging out with me this morning. Here's the Rockster. See, I woke him up a little bit. Yeah, always fun to get on here and see who's on here and have a little coffee with my friends. And we will do this again tomorrow. Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, I guess. Isn't that what they say? So everybody out there, have yourself a good Tuesday morning and be careful. And we will see you all tomorrow. Have a good one, everybody.